What's happening? Kyle Postleway, aka Malcare, here at Big Kitty Games. I got neck warmer on, yada yada. I had messed my neck up. I mentioned it on stream a couple days ago. It hurt pretty bad. That was Tuesday, but yesterday I woke up and it was just like I couldn't, I still can't go further than this. Really, it's on the left. But I went and got it worked on a bit yesterday. As soon as my coffee cools down here, I'm going to take an Excedrin. Actually, that's pretty cool already. Hi, cat. What's the matter? But yeah, my neck hurts a lot still. So I took yesterday off and didn't do anything. I got this back scratcher thing too. What do you call it? Back puller. It's actually pretty cool. Pulling the back muscles with it, because it's a nerve between my 6th and 7th vertebrae on the left side that travels all the way down to my left hand. And I had this like 2 years ago was the first time I got it, and my left hand actually went partially numb. But it makes this real knot on my left, what do you call it? Shoulder blade? Like the muscles right next to your shoulder blade. I had this just like rock there, so they had to give me, I actually got shots the first time I went in, because I didn't know it was going to get that bad, and I tried to just tough it out. You know, sometimes you get a sore neck, it's like whatever. But this was like a pinched nerve, and it got worse and worse over like a week, to the point where like I couldn't move, and like my hand was starting to go numb. I had to go into an orthopedic, I forget what they're called, chiropractor, orthopedic something or other. But yeah, I got shots, and I had to get like I got a shot every like 3 days for like a month, where it was like a muscle relaxant, or no, it was a nerve relaxant or something like that, and that was a serious pain. And I had it back in October too, and I it was the same thing. You know, I could tell that it was starting, so I went in early. You know, before it got bad. But to get it fully healed, I have to go in like every day for like 6 weeks. And it's just really annoying to drive, you know, there every morning. And yeah, it's orthopedic. Anyway. So I didn't heal it up 100%. It got healed up, you know, like 80%. And I could kind of feel that it was still there, but I was just trying to like take care of it. But I don't know. Tuesday morning I woke up and it just took a real bad turn for the worse. And so I didn't go into the orthopedic yet, because they'll take x-rays and, you know, actually like give me drugs and stuff for it. But yeah, actually I'm going to take an Excedrin here. Sorry for doing all of this on stream. It's just, it was already past 9. I wanted to get going, because I didn't get going yesterday at all. That'll help out a little bit. Non-steroidal anti-inflammatory. Anyway, the pain. Did you see Dune? It was great. I can't believe I only saw it once. I really should have seen it 2 or 3 times in the theater. But anyway, let's get back to what we were doing. Working on skills. Finished Archer. Let's see. Familiar, I'm putting off. We could spend the stream doing that today. That's a tough one. The tough ones are familiar and sneak. Or what is it? Stealth. Yeah. Let's get rid of, let's get the rest of them out of the way first. Before we go into those difficult ones. So let's see if Flame Shield is working. I don't think it is. Yeah, work in progress. The rest of these, I believe, are working, even though some of the models, like Lightning Wave, is still using ice spikes just as like a placeholder. So we'll go through and we'll get the logic and everything working for these once. And I'm in a different chair too, you might notice. I'm not in my racer gamer chair. That guy's really comfy to some extent, but this is just a normal, I can't lean back in the gamer chair, and that really bothers me, over time. I have to switch chairs every once in a while, so this is just a dining chair table, but I can lean back and it helps a lot. But anyway, we'll get the logic and, usability and everything working first, and then I'll go back and finish the effects. So Flame Shield, we have not yet determined the amount that this is going to do. Let's double check to see what the Priest equivalent is doing. And we'll probably want to do a little stronger than that. Or that's actually Force Field. Here we go. 4 plus level times 2 damage to attackers. So at max level, that's going to be 14 damage every time someone attacks you, which is 14% of a normal 100 hit attack. So every 14, 30 times about 3-ish, every about 6 attacks, that's like a free attack. Yeah, that's pretty good for, I think, Disciple ability. I think for Magician, we're going to crank that up a bit. Kick it up a notch. Flame Shield. Let's do... If it was 20 at max, then every 10 hit, no, every 5 hits would be like a 100, like a full spell hit. Maybe we get it to 4. So at max it's 25. Let's say every level it does plus 4. So we're looking at 25. Well, no, let's see. 4 times 5 is 20. So we're going to start out at just 5. So it'll be 9 plus 4 will be the first one. This will be second, third, fourth, fifth. Yeah, okay. Damage to attackers. I think this is one of the few things that I did program abstraction into. Attack proc, no. Let's take a peek at Force Field. Does this have something going on here? It's a buff, and it is not programmed into there. Okay. But it does need to be a buff, huh? Let's copy that. down to the magician tree, which is 220. Flame shield. The first time that I made protect, I had the bubble actually stay around the character for the whole like 10 minutes that it was active, and that was really annoying. Flame shield too, but we do want to have it spawn like a fire effect, I guess, on hit. So if you're just standing there, you don't want to see anything, but kind of leaning into the mic. I'm going to try and push this back so I don't want to lean my neck forward, if you know what I mean. Got this like right in my face, but whatever. Doesn't it rotate this way? Whatever. It's fine. Deals damage to it. Let's just change it at least to deals fire damage to attackers. How about burns? Yeah, that's fine. Magician skill. I don't think I have a flame shield for it. I do. And this is 605. We can leave those as is, I think. And we'll change this later. Duration 60, 80, 100, 120, 140. That's not very long. 1 minute. I think we can do better than that. Let's do 2 minutes start. Should we just add 20 per? 200 seconds. Is that 2.2 minutes? 3.2 minutes? That's not terrible. And then, player combat. Stuart Schutz. Oh, you're on YouTube. What's happening? Stu? I'm in pain, but what are you going to do? I took some drugs. I'll be alright. On hit proc damage chance. No, that's not it. Player... Isn't it get hit? Wait. I need to rename these. You've been on Twitch up until now, usually, haven't you? Player hit, player magic hit, player block. I'm looking for... Or did it show this as like a suggested or something? Environment hit. Player hit is... Fine, be like that. No, that's fine. What is the current PoE thing that's going on? Is it still the like corrupted realm? I was building a warrior. Doing pretty good. I think I was in Act 3 still. Didn't get too far. Oh, really? There's a new league starting? What is it? Siege of the Atlas. Expansion. I need to rename this. I really don't like. No, yeah. Okay, player hit. Because what's actually going on here is the player is attacking. Player hit. Like what I actually want is, I guess that's gonna be in player combat, so I don't need. I should have a ranged hit there too. But anyway, I guess I don't need to call this because we're already in player combat. That's gonna be going on down here, which is not ranged. Yeah, here we go. Force field, let's call this damage shields. Damage shield level. Not damage shield, flame shield. And then we don't need all of that, but we do want the basic one here. You could technically have both of them active. That might be something we change in the future. Can only have one shield type, for example, open, but 20 degrees, like in the day, that's a bummer. 20 F to C. Minus 6.7. Yeah, we're not getting down to minus 6 here. We're getting down to minus 4 maybe, which is like 25 degrees Fahrenheit. But that's at night. Daytime's been getting up to 15, which is 59. It's not that bad around here. We haven't had any snow either, too. We had snow fall once, but it was 0 stick, which is great. Oh, really? That's interesting. Better sound on Twitch. Righteous Fire Inquisitor. I'm not really, I don't know, I don't really like following builds. I always just wing it. And I've gotten pretty far. You know, I've gotten up to, I wonder what my max level is. I'm not sure. I want to say like, I don't think it's 86, maybe 76? 86 is pretty high up there, right? Yeah, once you get up to 90, they say that's when like the real grind starts, right? I don't think, because I've only gotten like a bit into the map, the Atlas stuff. Like, I did like maybe 10 maps. I think 86 might be too high. We could look. Oh, well, this will take forever. Path of Exiles. Oh, no, 1.4 megs. Never mind, that was tiny. What's my max level? $59, $61, $75. Yeah, okay, 78. I didn't think I broke the 80s. So that's as far as I've ever gotten. Yeah, I know. Not even into the 80s. But I'm a transient gamer, you know. I float around to different games all the time. I'm playing a Factorio and maybe some World of Warcraft right now. I installed Guild Wars 2 yesterday. I did log in and look at the controls. We were talking about in chat 90 in 2 days. But is that like 48 hours is what that means, 2 days? Or does he play for like 16 hours a day times 2? Like, that's crazy. Takes me forever to get that high. Yeah. Still, I just can't sit down and play a game like that for that long. I go nuts. What was I gonna... I need to clean my desktop up. That's embarrassing. And there's my email. That's great. Whatever. Oh, 気をつけてね。注意する？隠しようか？気をつけて。Wife's gone off to work. Yeah, I had to reset my password when I installed this like 10 years ago. Not 10 years ago, like 2 years ago or something. I had no idea what my password is. It made me reset it. But you know how they've got the right mouse button, like you've got the cursor, so I can click on people, I can click on monsters, I can click on whatever buttons I want to, I can look at buffs, yada yada. I got some daily loot. Oh boy. And then right mouse button moves, left mouse button moves the look camera. You know, if I do this, I can look while not moving. And of course, we've got auto attack. So I'm not pushing any buttons, I'm just chasing the guy. Right? And hi, kitty. You know, that's all pretty nice. It's definitely got its benefits. Right, and that'd be the same for Solace crafting, of course, if we did it that way, you know. So it'd just be like programming. If you're still in combat, you know, and in range, so we'll have like a combat timer, which we already do actually for the animator. So if you're in combat... What is this? Oh, I guess it's through the mouth. I don't know why that looked weird to me. That's the lake behind the object there. Anyway. But yeah, you would have to target. So like the biggest change would be, you know, currently we have it so that the mouse is locked. And you just move the mouse. That's it. There's no holding the right mouse button down. That would be the biggest change. And I mean, you know, from a programming stance, that's not a big difference. It's just, are you holding the right mouse button down or not? But I wonder what players would think of that. I think everybody's pretty used to, you know, like I said, World of Warcraft, Path of Exile has the cursor, Guild Wars 2, EverQuest, any of those games with like massive amounts of... See, I don't have a cursor. I'm always stuck here. And I can push, V is just look. That doesn't actually give me the cursor, does it? So I think that would be the... That's a good question. I was thinking of that too myself. You know, I mean, I guess if you really want to, you can. You got your limited buttons. You'd probably want to have maybe R and L to shift between pages. And then you've got one joystick is movement and one joystick is look, right? Is his left mouse button maybe here is target? Maybe that's what he's showing there. So like you've got your cursor is locked in the middle, and if you look at something, or maybe it's just tab target. I think most controllers have two, right? So you could have one be tab and one be target, like a click target, whatever's your cursor's under. That'd be hard in World of Warcraft if you were doing like a dungeon. It'd be fine solo. In Solace crafting, likewise, I think that, you know, if you're bent on... What's happening, Jeff? Screenshot of what? I'm thinking that that's going to become necessary. Like, I haven't even gotten to... Oh, yeah. He actually messaged this morning that he's going to try and learn keyboard and mouse. We had a player in Discord that was trying to figure out how to set up some kind of Logitech specific gaming mouse he was having trouble with, because there is currently not yet full controller support. And even like that video that we were just looking at, that's not necessarily full controller support. That's combat support, which we kind of have in, like 85%. But if you want to do full support, you have to give menu cycling, so you can use the arrow keys to navigate menus for... it's not super difficult. It's a lot of little, like, mundane work. The logic isn't difficult, but, yeah. We'll get there. We'll get there. Anyway. I'm gonna keep grinding at this stuff. 5 plus level times 4. Yeah. Well, and there has been a fair amount of players asking for full controller support. You know, and so I understand that. It's kind of weird to me because I just hate it. You know, and I've got a buddy that vastly prefers playing with controllers and stuff, you know, so yeah, it's definitely not low priority, but it's not high priority either, unfortunately. That is redundant there. Skill, that's fine. Damage type. This should actually be magic skill, shouldn't it? Yeah, and we should actually set these up a little bit. Can trigger reactions equals false. Correct and good. Also, well, we've got it set to arcane, so that works, I guess. Okay. So this one is actually going to be fire damage. We should actually be using the player's magic skill level here, shouldn't we? Level works fine like that, but yeah, this should actually be client dot player stats dot get stat dot magic skill. What are you kitties doing? Settle down. You knocked my coffee over, you're all getting thrown across the room. I have notebooks to prove they've done it. Client player stats, same thing. I'm going to do that here. And this is what will let the monster attempt to resist it. So if you've got a high skill, they'll have a low chance of resisting it since it's magic damage. But these are reactions themselves, so they can't trigger reactions. I don't have a skill name here set up yet, do I? Stunning force, attack holder, dot, skill name equals flame shield. Do I want that in caps? Probably not. I put it in caps here. Alright, we'll leave it in caps. And let's go ahead and make sure that force field has that too. Okay. And we actually had an icon set up for that guy and everything, so he should be working fine. Moving on. What else have we not done for magician? Phase shift and probably etheric binding. I think I did dancing flames, penetrating ice. Pretty sure I did all of these. Fire pillar, translucent mud, flame shield. We need to finish this guy. To not use that, but to use this. Mana resist inversion. This is not yet working yet. Huh, okay. Inversion is heal on magic crit. Heals a portion of heals you for a small amount on magic critical hits. This is going to be triggered here, but I don't think we have it set up yet. We've got player critical, but we don't have player magic critical. Let's organize these a little better. We've got hit, magic hit, player block. I don't really need that right here, but whatever. Player critical. Now we want to have player magic critical. And critical hit target effects, that's different. Critical hit heals, mana refund. These are I need to double check these, I think. We haven't saved any code yet, have we? No. One of these I know is working, I think is priest. No. Is it spiritualist? Shoot, which one am I thinking of? There's attack proc damage, critical hit target effects. I've got critical hit target effects set up somewhere. Was it disciple? Blessed strike. No, this is passive. Gives your attacks a chance to cause damage. That's attack proc though. Critical hit target effects. I'm trying to think where I put that in. Critical hit mana refund. That is I got my skill book here I'm looking at. Settle down, cats. Exchange is 1. That's not health rebound. There we go. Melee crits heal for a small amount. Is what it is though. Critical hit mana refund. I think I might have just added that in there. Cats are freaking out in the background. Anyway, what I'm getting at is I think these need to be specified more as melee critical hits, right? I think we need to, like, you know, differentiate between those. And these is like the only stuff that I started out making this sort of abstraction with. And like I was saying on Tuesday, really this just kind of adds more work overall, without really any benefit. So, what are you doing? I'm not going to do that. Let's just go ahead and program it in like everything else we've been doing. So, I'm going to get rid of all of this. But we are going to have a player magical crit. That is going to come from monster AI when a monster gets hit. If they've been hit, let's see, not a miss, not a dodge. So not miss, resist, and not dodge. That means that they're taking damage. Now if, basically we just want to say, if the attack holder dot is, critical? And we also want to do magic, huh? If attack holder dot damage type is equal to arcane or any of those types, that's going to be an and for this guy, but these guys are going to be a bunch of ors. So let's do like this. And I don't remember all of them. We've got, oops, arcane, earth. I think we've got ice, fire, water. Is that it? Electric. That's another one. Fire, ice. Is that it? Water. There we go. And I would like the ores to be over here, over here. And because I put these in brackets, it means it's going to be any one of these, and it's also critical. In that case, we're going to call client dot player combat dot magic critical. So we've hit the monster with a magical crit. It's going to report back to the player combat here, and we're going to check to see if we've got, what is it called? We're looking at magician inversion. Get currents. I'm not. My keyboard foo is weak today. This is player skills dot get current skill level. I hit another weird key. Inversion. I've also got the mic blocking me, so I don't lean forward. If inversion level is greater than 0, then we want to, was it heal? Crit, no, it's not that one. Crit, heal on magic crit. What are you doing, PP? How about you settle down, weirdo? If inversion level is greater than 0. Okay, so we haven't actually determined how much we want to heal. So here we are at Magician. In version, let's say, magic crits aren't going to be super common, right? They can happen, but like one full generic hit is 100 hit points, right? So, or no, that's a player hit. A monster hit is 50. So you could heal back one whole hit. It's not so bad. Let's do like 40 plus 5. I guess 35 is what I was thinking. So 35 at level 1, you'll be at 40. It'll go 45, 50, 55, 60. On a magic crit. That's kind of cool. You know, it's not amazing, but it's a good passive side ability. So 35 plus 5. Player stats dot alter stat dot health 35 plus 5 times inversion level. In the event of a magic crit, if you've got inversion unlocked. Alright, so we got that. What else do we got? Phase shift. Become immune for 6 seconds. That's easy. We actually took that out. But we used to have like a disciple skill that did that. Usually called a bubble. For paladins. So it should be actually under old skills. Called, what was it? Invulnerability. And I've got a special skill template just for that. So we can just drag this guy up here. And he is, this is not right, that's priest. That is spiritualist. Why do I have all these open? Here we go. Phase shift. So this is 280. Phase shift. Alright, I need to put a 1 after it. So you can't have the same name in the same folder. Phase shift. Temporarily shifts your physical body to an alternate plane, making you immune to all forms of damage. This is an adventuring skill on the magician tree. And do I have an icon for it? I do. That wasn't boobies, was it? I guess it's some fancy armor. Not that I'm against boobies, but family game, you know. 905. And cooldown 2 minutes. That's a little quick. The rest of these I've got up pretty high. Arrow Storm, for example, 600 going down to 360 at a rate of 60 per. 360 is 6 minutes. So we're starting at 10 minutes, dropping down to 6 minute cooldown. And it's only 6 seconds. That's not bad. 540, 480, 420, 360. Mana cost should be low because this is a panic skill. Let's reduce this down to 5. Let's do 7, 9, 11, 15. Whoops. Maybe 12 for you. Doesn't require magic. And the duration goes up from 4 to 6. Cost goes down. Refresh goes down. Alright. I think that is good. And that should work already. Etheric Binding. Familiar adds intelligence and agility. So we don't have familiar working yet. We don't have Chromatic Blast working yet either, do we? I don't think so. No, yeah, I did. It's just a big stun chance. AoE. Maximum range is 2. That doesn't sound like enough. Maximum range of 4. 4 meters. I'm about 2 meters. 4, 5, 4. Let's go 5. Up to 5 targets within a 90-degree arc. We could turn that up a little to 120. Okay. So we still need to work on familiar. This is one of the 2 hard ones, and then this is dependent upon that, so we'll come back to that. These need new graphics, but they're working other than that. Moving on to Scholar. Blink. Oh, should we program Blink? This should be fun. Let's do Spell Absorption real quick. Gain mana when hit by a magic attack. Okay. That's not so bad. Let's determine how much first. This is a Scholar ability called what? Spell Absorption. And it's actually before the rest of these. So we'll put it up here. Spell Absorb. Absorption. Did I spell that right? Absorption. Gain mana when hit by a magic attack. How much to gain? 2.5 plus level times 0.5 would be 2.5 plus 2.5, right? So you could gain 5 mana every time a magic attack hits you. For example, Imp Fireballs, which are just going to keep coming at you. You're going to get 5 mana, 5 mana. That sounds like a bit much. How about just this? I think that's better. So it'll be 2.5 max level. 2.5. You know, in some games... Ooh, my back hurts. Some games would do... can only trigger once per 3 seconds kind of stuff too. We don't have any logic like that in yet. And I don't think that's necessary. But you know, we'll play test everything. If the mana just goes up, 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 up when you're fighting an imp, we can rework it. So this is going to happen once again under player combat. If you are getting hit, look for invulnerability. I don't actually have anything looking for that, do I? No, I do. Okay, it's generic. Good. Good. I don't think I upgraded the Defend and resist. Yeah, we don't actually have this checking to see yet if it is fire damage or whatnot, what have you. For example, do I have to recompile? I do. That's a bummer. It's always annoying. It's better than having to trigger it manually, though, honestly. What was I doing? I wanted to look at our Firebolt ability. We've got it set as a damage type fire. So I don't want to... I need to upgrade this a little bit. We haven't had monsters that actually did magic up until this week. So we want resist abilities now for the player. And again, fitting all of this stuff within is not really the best way to go about things. Let's say if we want to do miss first, so if holder dot damage type is equal to 10 o'clock. I need to change this alarm. This is usually my break time, but now that I'm back to streaming, I don't break until lunch. I could go to the bathroom. I kind of have to go to the bathroom, but I'll do that when I really have to go. If we are a melee attack, which could be bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing. What about null? I thought... No, I don't think we have anything that's null. I only use that on the skill templates to denote that you don't want to use. Yeah, that's different. That's weapon type. This is damage type. So we should specify that, shouldn't we? When we're attacking the player, if we're throwing fireballs and rocks, we know what we're doing. If, however, dying, stun, handle, where is attack? Did I already go past it? I think I did. Handle, audio, wander, chase, where is attack? Sense, target building, attack, here we go. Where is our attack holder? We're not actually setting a damage type here. So let's just go ahead and say that most monsters are doing bludgeoning for right now. And we'll get more specific with this in the future. Maybe we should put that on our script here. Under Entity Basics. And have... Yeah, we've got some archetype stuff set up. Let's go ahead and do that. Public... damage type. And by default, they're going to be bludgeoning. And then we'll set wolves and whatnot to be slashing, etc. And then we'll make these guys go ahead and use that damage type. So the ones that are already built, this is just going to recompile and make them all bludgeoning by default. So they're not null. So this should be triggering for most basic attacks. So if it's any of those, let's put that in brackets. So it has to pass that logic check first. And we use our defense skill against the incoming skill of the monster. If we pass that, we get a miss. Now we want to say if not miss, And now we're going to go ahead and do Arcane. What were they all? Earth, Electric, Fire, Water. Was that all of them? Did I skip Ice? I did, didn't I? Ice. Okay, so yeah, there's 6 magic types, 3 melee types. Or not melee, but physical types. And now we're going to attempt a resist. So if it's a magic attack, we're going to attempt to resist it. If it's a physical attack, we're going to attempt to defend against it. Let's not do else there anymore. So we want to move this stuff back. Now, if not miss, up here actually. Let's do if not miss and not resist. That's what this is. And we can attempt to dodge, and you can dodge both spells and physical attacks unless they're explosions, which we don't have specified logic for yet, but I've got that in my head to work on when we get there. So this is going to attempt to dodge. If it works, we dodge. If not miss and not resist and not dodge, here we will attempt to means a hit has come through of some type, right? Here we are going to try and block. Block equals true. If we were unable to block, we can try to parry, assuming we've got a weapon. We don't have offhand parrying set up yet, but we'll get there as well. If we do parry, we can riposte. And I think that is it. So we're upgraded there, and what we're trying to do here actually is, what were we doing? Spell Absorption. If we get hit by a magic attack, we want to gain mana back. So, right. We actually need to add this logic to this stuff. So you can only block physical attacks currently. We will have a shield spell block ability. And that's actually something that's marked as to work on, isn't it? Guardian spell block, which would be right here. So let's look at that as soon as we're done with this scholar ability. So it has to be a melee attack. You do have to have a shield, and this stuff has to all trigger in order to block. Likewise, if you have not blocked, but it is a physical attack, and you've got a weapon, you can try and parry. So if you have not... I guess we could go prior to this. And I guess since both of these are using that, we can actually wrap that inside of these. So if we're going to add spell block ability in here just in a minute, you need to be able to block incoming spell damage with a shield if you're a badass. So I guess we don't want to wrap these. Yeah, let's go ahead and leave that like it was. Oops. Like this. So they have to be physical attacks, but what happens when a magic attack comes in? I guess just for the sake of that ability, it's regardless of whether you blocked or parried or not. It's just whether it triggers or not. So if we've got a magic attack coming in that we did not resist nor dodge, it has hit us, it is magic, we want to check our reversal, was it? No. Spell absorption. Absorption level. Get current skill level absorption. I'm worried I'm going to spell this wrong somewhere and it's not going to work. And then if our spell absorption level is greater than 0, we're going to refund some mana at 0.5 per level. So client player stats dot alter stat dot mana to the tune of 0.5 times spell absorption level. Et voila. So we get hit with a magic attack. We can now absorb some of it if we've got absorption levels, and we've fixed this so that players can now resist monster spells. Now, spell block is going to be in here. It's probably I'm going to want to check that before we move into it to say yeah, I think we're going to have to move that. That's all right. Spell block level equals player skills dot get current skill level for spell block. And I think this needs to go down beneath that. Well, regardless of whether we're able to spell block it or not, I guess, yeah, let's move this guy down here. Like that, and if we've got spell, if spell block level is greater than 0, I guess we don't need to worry about that unless we're in here, do we? Now that I think about it. So, if it's magic damage, we can attempt to spell block it. I don't think we determined how much yet. Spell block comes, it's one of the last abilities. So you've got your shield, you've got your block chance. Currently we've got it set so that I moved it under combat math. I might actually not be using that yet. Let's take a look. Global combat math. I added some static variables here. Block multiplier, parry multiplier. I don't think, yeah, we're not actually, I set up monsters to use that. So let's do that here as well. Combat math dot block multiplier. And for parry, we're going to do combat math dot parry multiplier. like so. So if you've got 5 levels of spell block, what do we want to be increasing across those levels is what I'm trying to think of to myself here. Say you've got, you've got your shield, you're a badass guardian, you've got a, say, 25% chance to block. So we can just pass that same number on to spell block, but what are the levels changing? Normally, a combat block is going to reduce the damage by 50%. So what if we say spell block only reduces 10% per level? Does that make sense? 10 times level. 10% damage reduction on spell block. So if you've got 5 points in spell block, you can get it all the way up to 50% damage reduction if you block, similar to a melee attack. That's pretty good. That's pretty powerful too, because you're also going to have resist. You can't parry them. Maybe we should do... it's pretty strong. Pretty strong. You're only going to be blocking, like 20%, 15% of the time. What do you mean, Art? Variable range instead of a static decrease, increase. In regards to what? I mean, we could do that. Just kind of makes it more difficult. And is that better for some reason? Because it's a % chance, so that's basically just like 2 chances though. Like you're saying first we're going to make a roll to see if you got 4, 5, or 6% chance, and then we're going to roll to see if that chance got triggered or not. You see what I mean? I'm going to put this at 5 for now. Like when you attempt to defend, there is actually a critical fail. So if you get less than a 1 on your 100 dice roll, it's an automatic fail. If you roll 40 or higher, that's a critical success and you automatically win. And then it uses your skill versus the monster's skill to weigh within the range of greater than 1, less than 40. What's the matter all of a sudden? It's Baby John. Hey. It's Baby John. Baby John. I love sitting right in front of the keyboard. Makes it hard to type. You're just bored, aren't you? Ow, you got sharp claws too. Ow. You need me to cut your nails? I can't let you just sit here on me, kitty. I'm sorry. Why don't you go sit with your brothers? I can't let you sit here. I gotta work. People are watching me. Cats don't know no for an answer. What are you doing? So, stepping on the keyboard and everything. Come on. You almost knocked my coffee over there, too. I'm going to throw you across the room. I told you. If you do that, I won't really. I'm not. Just. So anyway, what did we determine? 5% reduction per level. Holder dot damage times equals 1 minus 0.05 F times spell block level. Is that correct? Times equals. So if you've got 5, it's going to be 25% reduction, right? Yeah, that works. I threw one of my kitties once because I flip into defensive dad mode if I think that they're in danger, like they're eating something that could be poisonous or something like that. One of my cats, I forget what he did, but I picked him up and I hucked him to get him away from it, and he landed funky, and then I had to take him to the vet, and I felt bad, and he was like limping for a couple days. So he's fine, of course, but that was my I had to spend some time reflecting on my mistakes when I did that. This is a block of sorts, right? Block equals true. You've now blocked it, and this is only going to trigger if it's a spell, and these guys are only going to trigger if it's physical. And again, oh, here comes a different kitty. What are you doing, you may? Both of these require that it be melee, so I think we should wrap these together. So that stuff is going to go off only if it's magic. This stuff is only going to go off if it is physical. Like this. And that way we can get rid of this line since they were both using it. Let's put a space there. Okay, that should be good. So spell block, let's make sure that's not marked as work in progress still. And just a few more to go here, I think. A few more like that, and then we can get into maybe... Oh yeah, we got blink. Should we do blink? Blink should be fun. It should be kind of difficult. I don't want players blinking into rocks and buildings and stuff like that. Everybody loves a movement ability, though. What were we looking at? Spell block. Is a guardian ability marked as work in progress. Okay. Gain the ability to block incoming spell damage. Spell block icon, E2. It's passive. Okay, that should be good. Let's close that tree back up. We're not looking at Disciple either. We're not looking at Magician anymore either. We're looking at Scholar. Spell Absorption. Should be good. Why does he have magic skill? That's not how that works. I didn't think of that. That's a good point. For programming Blink, all right, let's get into it. It's going to have to be a custom thingy. Sort of like, let's do jump back. What do I have that? Backstab. Jump back. So I'm going to make a new one. No, I don't want you to be able to blink through walls. Oops, what did I click? And I don't want you to be able to blink into empty space. Well, we could. I guess I'm thinking of how World of Warcraft handles it. But what's different about World of Warcraft is you're not allowed to go certain places. In Solace Crafting, that's not necessarily the case. So we could just let you blink straight forward. If people want to look up and blink, maybe just launch them 10 meters in that direction. It could be fun. Let you get up a floor. I like that idea, actually. The only thing you want to make sure is that they don't blink through a cave wall or blink through the ground, because then you're going to break things. So this is going to be STCA, Skill Template Custom Action Blink. And I'm going to copy jump back for starters. Call it Blink. Blink. And Blink. Add force. So yeah, basically jump is just gonna throw you backwards. We don't actually want to use the rigid body though. We want to do a raycast. We want to, why are you not indenting that? We want to make sure we're not going through a cave wall or the ground. What's the matter? I guess we should say encounter or the ground. Well, I don't care about walls so much. I don't think you should be able to blink through them, though. That sounds OP. You have to see where you're going. And yeah, cave walls, I can do that easily. I just want to make sure that I do that. Basically, we're just going to do ray equals new ray with an origin and a direction. The origin is going to be the client transform position. The direction is going to be client transform forward. We should probably use camera forward. We'll try forward first and see how that works. Because the camera's a little bit above the player, but that's probably not terrible. So we're going to do this if physics dot raycast. We also want to do raycast hit. There's a million of these. We want this one. So we're going to do ray out hit. What's our max distance? 10 meters, 15 meters? It's probably dependent on level, huh? We can do a little extra range per level and cooldown per level. Max distance, we'll just say 15 for now. Our layer mask is going to be pretty much everything. Decoration and terrain and world encounter and building. Like literally everything. Terrain and building and world encounter and decoration. Terrain, building, world encounter, decoration. Yeah, that sounds good. So you can't go through any of that. We're not going to use triggers. And assuming we hit something, we want to back it off a little bit. If we hit the ground, I guess we've got the hit in normal, don't we? How does that work? The normal of the surface the ray hit. The reflection vector. No. Is this the normal? The normal of the surface the ray hit. So it's just the normal of the surface itself. Doesn't actually care what your ray direction is. It's not quite what I want. I don't think I'll make it dependent on stats. We could do that. I don't think I've ever seen a game do that. The more magic skill you've got for your level, the further you can blink. That's an interesting idea. Let's just get it working for now. Sun's coming up. Praise be the universe. It was cold this morning. I'm gonna take I got my chanchanko on. This is a Japanese, winter clothing article. Very toasty. Even though it only goes to your wrists and the chest is open for some reason. You just wear it over your other clothes and it's very warm. If we have hit something, I just want to back off of it a little bit. But I'm trying to think, like, maybe we should do if... It's a toughie. Because if you hit the ground, like say... Why did it make it this size? Whatever. Say the player raycasts like this, and they hit the ground, and I go backwards, just like back to here. Because if I try to spawn the player here, there's a chance it'll get like stuck underneath it. So I want to back off of it a little bit. If they hit a wall, I want to back off of it a little bit. If there's a rock and they hit here, I think it should be fine to just back off of it a little bit regardless of where it hits. I was trying to think, like, if I hit the ground at like a really steep angle and I back off, maybe I should do like an up-down check and actually move it like this direction a little bit more. But I think as long as I back off a bit, we should be fine. Teleport blank script. Other people's work is often pretty scary. New vector, coordinates, players moving, player decides to shoot. Can't use any of that. This is all commented out. Somebody gives a better reply. Based, this guy's cool. He's been around forever. This is from 2015. But yeah, basically just moving the position. That's what I'm doing. Anyway, if physics raycast ray.out.hit. So yeah, I just want to, if we did hit something, we want to back off of it just a little bit. Let's say, and I don't really like moving the client specifically. This is going to work fine in single player, but oh yeah, Google is your friend for programming too. This isn't anything I don't know how to do. There's a lot of different ways I could do it, and there's lots of situations in game that could cause problems that I want to make sure that I think of ahead of time, you know? Like for example, right now what I'm going to do is just move the client directly, but that is going to cause problems for multiplayer and some stuff, but we'll just get it working single player for now. Make sure that the logic works, and then we can upgrade it to be safe for multiplayer as well, and some other things. And the player also has the capsule collider on them. That's like the body collider, which has, I think, a radius of 0.3-ish. So that's a pretty good distance to back off of our thing. So basically, we've got our ray, which is the line that we're going to draw to try and physics check a hit with the ground or an encounter or a decoration or a building with this mask we've specified. It's going to populate this hit without hit to give the data that we have hit, and we're doing an if, so it's only going to enter into here if we did hit something. So we're going to do hit dot point, and then we're going to do minus, let's do ray dot direction. Yeah, that would be 1 meter normalized. So let's do this times 0.30%. I'm going to do 35% for now. So we're going to go to wherever the physics line hit, but backed off just a little bit. Yeah, minus the direction. Should be good. Now, if we didn't hit something, that means that we're probably like looking up at the sky, or we're looking straight ahead, for example. So we can go ahead and just do client.transform position equals client.transform.position times or plus client.transform.forward times 15, because that was the length of the ray that we're sending out. We're looking at 15 meters. And again, we can change that to be level dependent, etc. But let's just try it out first. And let's go ahead and reference our transform, because we have called it so many times. Equals client.transform. It's actually going to try and get that every time that we do that. So go like that. Kind of dangerous to call it transform, but I'm actually, yeah, let's go ahead and rename it. If we were working with this mono behavior, it would yell at us for using this terminology, because that's something that it uses by default. We can just call it T. That's fine. And yeah, that should work. Let's go give it a try. $15 meters is pretty long, though. Maybe that's max level, though. That's not bad. I wonder how far World of Warcraft Blink goes. I want to say more like 10 meters. This isn't going to work. I didn't finish plugging it in. Oops. First we need to spawn that custom action. Blink. We need to plug it into the skill itself. Take it easy, Art. Thanks for stopping by. I'm exhausted too. I slept terrible. My neck's all messed up. I try to turn in bed and it's like, hi kitty. This is not a passive anymore. This is going to be a action. Skill template. It's not an attack. It's a usable. Attack skill template. I need to organize these a little better. Not really an attack, but I think that is what I want. Yeah, I took one Excedrin. And it's definitely doing better than it was when I got up, but still doing pretty bad. Blink 1. Let's call you. Go ahead and just type this stuff in. Did I already write this? No, I didn't. Okay. Teleports you forward. Plain and simple. Adventuring, scholar, skill type normal, blink. I'm pretty sure I've got a icon for that. And we are 205. Cooldown, 30 seconds. Is it too much? Energy cost, mana cost. Doesn't require weapon, doesn't do any damage, no utilities, does not require target to trigger. See, that's why actually it should have been just usable. But I don't think that I have usable as spawnable. Right? Yeah, I don't. This is just what they base themselves off of. But that's fine. It can be an attack. It's just not actually going to target or do anything. And we'll put blink into there, and now it should work. We want to get rid of the old blink so they don't butt heads. And okay. Are we good? I think so. So let's give it a try. Load her up. I do like the idea of blinking up to the second floor. That sounds fun. And we still don't have fall damage. I didn't add that to any of the skill trees. I always wanted to add feather fall. before I turned on fall damage. That's kind of a not nice though if it was class specific. Well, I mean, fall damage is normal anyway. I guess I wanted to make fall damage potions and enchants. We could turn on some fall damage. It's not a big deal. Anyway, let's see if I have enough, skill points to learn that. 'Cause I don't think I have any. Oh, I do have Scholar unlocked. Okay. Blink is up there. I need 16 to get there, so we should be good. I'll just unlock some random passives. What is this? Spell Absorption, cool. Magic skill, don't want. I'll go with these, and I guess I'll get one magic skill, and now we got Blink. 50-second cooldown, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, cool, I got the max level. Put it on 7. I'm going to save so that it lets me keep that, and oh, that didn't work. It did, I jiggled a little there. What happened? I wonder if I run into myself. I bet I did, didn't I? And we should have added a debug there. I think I hit myself though. We're trying to hit any of these: terrain, building, world encounter, or mask. Let's just peek at that. The guy that makes that. Terrain, building, world encounter, decoration. Yeah, okay. And, so what happened? T position. I guess we should do up, shouldn't we? I probably was doing it right at the feet and just ran right into the ground. Let's do plus vector 3.up. So that'll move it up a meter off of my feet. Should we go even higher? We really should use the camera, shouldn't we? Because like you're going to be pointing the cursor somewhere. Alright, let's do that. Transform. Let's call this player. And then let's do transform camera equals client.camera. Player camera. Dot transform. And then if client dot is local, so this will make it work for multiplayer. If this is not the local player, even though this whole script is only ever going to be called on the server, then we want to do camera equals client dot network camera dot transform. Now we're going to be using the player position dot vector 3. We better use the camera, shouldn't we? So we're going to have to factor in the distance between the player and the camera to make this fair. Because you could be in first person versus all the way zoomed out in third person would change the amount that you're able to teleport. You know what I mean? If you're using the camera as your starting position. So let's do, our origin is just going to be the camera dot position, right? That's fine. The direction is just the camera dot forward. That's fine. However, our distance is going to be 15 plus let's do a math function absolute version of player dot position plus, this is going to get a little weird, but let's do vector 3 dot up times 1.8, which is about how tall I am, 1.8 meters. And I got that in brackets also so that I can do minus camera dot position, right? So we've got the player position. Oh, and I can't do abs of that, can I? Is there a vector 3 absolute? What do I want? Normalize. 15. I want distance, right? Vector 3. Well, this is a vector 3, and it's going to be aware of that. So I can say one too many brackets. And I can say dot magnitude, right? Returns the length of the vector. It's a float. And I want to make sure that that is positive. So I do want absolute, because I think that is capable of going negative. Should we double check that? Unity, can magnitude be negative? Returns the length of this vector, square root. What is this? Rigid body negative velocity. I think it can go negative, even though that's not obviously answered question anywhere. And maybe the square root notation there was actually the answer, and I'm just not smart enough to understand that, but that's fine. Let's move that to a new line, organize it a bit, and what do we got? Player position plus vector 3 up, and I put that in brackets, good. So we're moving 1.8, get up to about the player's head, minus the position of the camera, and we're converting that to a distance value and making sure that it's positive to add on top of the 15 range that we're casting. Should be good. Then we're going to move the player to that position. In the event that we are in multiplayer, player.position is not going to work for us because let's see, vector 3 target position equals player.position, let's say. And then we can say target position equals this. Otherwise it equals this. And then we can say if the client dot is local player, then you can just go ahead and do that. Player dot position equals the target position. Otherwise, we're gonna have to pass to the client dot player mover dot what? Teleport, terrain, set position, position, target, set position. There we go. And this is a target network command, so we have to do client dot connection to client. Local position. Why is that called local position? We want to go to the target position. Is in world encounter. Yeah, this is kind of not really what I want to use, is it? This is doing a variety of checks. Somebody replied to something. Oh, I was looking at Facebook when I woke up this morning. Somebody was asking about upgrading Unity, causing a bunch of problems. I'll have to look at that later. Target set position. So this is I think this will work. We need to use the currently client.playermover.currently in world encounter, because we're not going to change that. We're just going to leave it as is. And I think that'll work fine. So let's give it a try. Basically, the player object is the only thing that players themselves have authority over in multiplayer. Everything else is server-based. So that means that they can move, basically. It's the only thing that they're allowed to do, and send commands through the player object. So even though the network server usually handles everything itself, you can't actually move the player. If I just moved the player, that wouldn't relay back to the client. The client would not get that data, and it would just keep moving, and then it would say, I haven't moved, and then the network would just have to update it to where the client actually is. So we have to tell the client to move to here. That's what this does. Hi, kitty. So I've already got it learned. Let's try and blink. And we did. I would like to try that again. Preferably not having to wait for the cooldown. What did I set it at? 30 seconds. That's not terrible. Let's try and get up like on a roof or something. 15 meters, right? That should be pretty far. I wasn't really paying attention to how far I teleported there. So let's see if I can just get right on top of that. No, that didn't work. Alright, let's turn the cooldown way down so we can play with it. So I'm currently level 5, so I'm just going to turn this down to 2. And let's turn that down to 2 as well. Go back into it. Oh, and I wanted to add some debugs. We're already loading, that's fine. I'll let it load, and we can have the debugs if we need it. Basically, I want to see what it hit. Debug.log hit dot, oops. Collider.gameObject.name. And then let's say hit. And yeah, I don't really like this, to be honest. We're moving backwards 35 centimeters. It's not terrible, but I'd rather it put me right where I clicked it, you know what I mean? Like if I'm targeted right here, it should just move me up top of that. Would be preferable. Let's just try and go. I think it's, oh yeah, see, there we go. It just feels like it's, oh, I know it's a bit, our target set position thing. Well, it should be single player. All right, let's add a draw ray as well, which is a really great thing. And this is incorrect too, isn't it? Okay, that's the problem. I'm shooting at the sky. I'm not hitting anything, so it's moving me forward. We want to be using the camera forward. And we want to be using this distance too. So let's go ahead and calculate that separately. Let's do float distance equals, what? Didn't I just copy that? X, I guess I didn't. Float distance equals this guy, and we're going to be using that here as well. Camera forward times distance. Yeah. We messed something up. That's not a bracket. And yeah, let's do a debug.drawRay. I think it's draw line that I want actually. And we want to do vector3 start as camera.position, Vector 3 end. I guess I did want ray. Start, direction, color, duration. Yeah, I guess that works. Let's do camera dot position, comma, and then we want to do camera dot forward times distance, and let's do color blue. And let's do red. And duration, we can do 10 seconds. Okay, so this will it'll debug if we hit something. It'll tell us what we hit. And even if we don't hit something, it'll draw a line for us to see in the Unity inspector. So we can see if everything is working as we want it to. So we'll load that up. Previously we were using the player forward, and that is not what we wanted, so it should work better now. Yeah, it's pretty warm in here now. I'm going to take this guy off. I'm trying to keep my neck warm though. I did have my neck worked on yesterday. And they said, did you want to definitely try and keep it, like they said my neck and my feet were cold. And that is an indication that my blood flow is not optimal. And that can lead to yada yada. Reduced healing. So let's see if I can get right on that shadow. Nope, but let's pause and go and see what our ray drew. See how the ray drew there for us? So it did hit this, but yeah, it backed off just a little bit, but we still ended up in the ground. Actually, we went pretty far. How did we get that far? Okay, so the camera is freaking out behind this wall. But I can go straight up, right? Let's go. That didn't move me at all. Oh, that was my trap, sorry. Okay, that launched me in the air right about where I want it. Looks like I went a little too far there though, doesn't it? Am I going forward instead of backwards? I tried to move it off a bit. Hit that point minus ray direction times 3.5, 0.35. It should just be right. That should work. We're going here. We're going to go minus that much. Looks like it moved me extra. Let's just try it again. Like, if I hit a wall, it should stop me right at that wall, right? Since we're checking, but it didn't. It seems to have, wasn't I right here? Oh, I was over there. It went through the building. Why did it go through the building? It's not supposed to go through the buildings. Oh, that's a town layer. Ah, that's no good. I'll have to add that. All right, well, let's look at the rock. Shouldn't be able to go through the rock. And I fell through the ground. So it went through the rock as well. Doesn't this guy have a resources? He's not a decoration, he's a resource. Alright. Or global masks.resources or global masks.town. Anything else I'm missing? Let's see what the rest of them are. Global masks dot. There's a whole bunch of these. Cave is included in world encounter. That's actually outdated. Decoration, facility, mask. Yeah, we do want that too, huh? Or global masks dot. Pretty much like everything. Basically just non. I guess I should have just, I should have done non global masks. Let's do non mob mask. Basically, non mob, or can you do? No, let's go back to that. I don't want to do player or, jeez, should I make a new one? Got a whole bunch of these already. Non-mob, non-player is basically all I want, right? Everything else here I want to be able to hit. So, alright. Let's make one. Public, static, layer mask, non-mob, and player mask. And then these get set up, I forget where. Player startup. Let's do wherever. Global masks dot non mob and player mask equals. How do these work? How do you do non like this, huh? Player layer. Does that work? Or global masks dot mob layer, right? And we've set these up already. Oh, mob mask, player mask. Okay, let's go with those. Player mask or mob mask. That should work. Non-mob and player. This basically means that. It's the reverse of either of these. So now we can say collide with everything but those non-mob and player mask. Go ahead and put that all in one line now that it's compact. That should work better. So I was teleporting right through the roof, wasn't I? Because it was marked as a town, not as a building like I thought it was. We should now be running into all of that. That also means that we would run into our own spells. Yeah. I might want to make this specific. Let's just call it blank mask. And the blink mask constitutes of not the player, not any mobs, no spells, mob spell mask. Let's do player spell mask first. Spell. I don't have a spell mask set up yet, do I? It's fine. Player, let's hit spell mask. This is a layer. Does that work? I don't actually know if that works or not. I don't think it does. So let's transition that. This is called a bit shift. So we'll bit shift the spells layer, and we'll also include the mob spells mask. So these are all bit shifted layer masks. That should work. And we'll do the blink mask. That should work fine. So everything but mobs, players, player spells, player or mob spells. Anything in the game world, we want to not be able to teleport through it. And I think we do need to do a little top-down ground check, which is not a problem. A simple raycast causes very minimal processing power, especially when you're doing an action like that, because the player expects something to be happening. When you're like running along, you know, just not doing anything, and then the game hitches, it's a lot more annoying than when you're doing something and you get a 0.001 second lag. So we should now not be able to go through the wall, but we still did. Let's take a look at the... Okay, yeah, so I feel like it's launching us forward, like this is not, I feel like this is not doing what I want it to do. Not sure why, but we didn't actually get a hit. Debug, that's weird. So this didn't happen, this happened. Player position plus camera forward times distance. So I'm not actually doing the minus dealy here, which we did want to do basically. Just back it off a little bit. Was I just too far away? I'm overestimating 15 meters in the game world. And we'll stand close to it here and go boop. Okay, so there we did wood wall hit. And it didn't put us through it. Let's see if we can get up on the roof. See, that did not hit anything. Is that 15 meters? It doesn't look like 15 meters to me. The walls are 3 meters. So you would need like 3, 6, 9, 12. I don't know, that doesn't look like 15 to me. I guess we can turn it up a little though, because it didn't hit. And I think we should be able to teleport that far. Maybe I don't want to target the roof itself, but just try to like overshoot it like this. Yeah, that worked, but I fell through that. I know those guys don't have colliders on them. Actually, the roof might not have colliders on it, now that I think about it. No, it does. I got on top of it. That might be the wall. Okay. It's working, but I don't like how... What if I'm right here? That worked fine. If I overshoot it, I guess it's just because it's not pulling back. Well, that worked. Blip. 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 I ran into the ground once. It's kind of the one thing that I really want to make sure does not happen, no matter what. I feel like it is a little bit too short. Anyway, let's do... we don't have the damage being passed, so that, or the level. let's get the level. Int blink level equals client dot player skills get current skill level blink. And based on that, we're going to increase our distance. So it's going to actually start out at 15, but let's actually make it go up 1 meter per... Is 1 meter enough? Should we do 2.5? At 5, that would be a lot. How about 2 plus 2 times blink level? So that would get us up to 25 at level 5. It might be too long, but we'll see. And we're giving it a decent cooldown of like 30 seconds, so I think that's fair. Plus the distance between us and the camera. Let's go ahead and debug that to make sure that we're getting that correct. So this guy, let's do like this and say, whoops, player camera distance is this. Hi kitty, what are you doing? Why is this not closing properly? I'm confused. Quote, bracket, quote. What's going on here? Just the, oh, am I missing a bracket there? And then like, or not that. Like this? What's going on? Oh, this goes in here, right? Okay, sorry. So we're gonna get that distance between the camera just to make sure that it is correct, and our offset. Turned out to be a little more complicated than I was thinking, but all necessary. So then the last kind of question remaining is, do we want to do the ground check just to triple kind of check that we're not clipping through the ground anywhere? I think probably what we should do, target position equals hit minus, we should really just add plus vector 3 dot up to like all of these. That's just going to add 1 meter on the Y, because the player transform position is always right at their feet. So if we set the position to exactly there, it's like I guess I was thinking about like the waist. Maybe 1 meter's too much. But I think we should raise it up a little bit just to be safe. That could also be a problem in caves though. If you point at the ceiling and you try to blink at the ceiling and then it moves you above the ceiling, that would also be a problem. So yeah, no, I don't think that is correct. We just want to back off of it just a little bit. Which is what this is doing, and I think that should work good, and we added that here too. Okay, and we're done compiling. Let's load it up, try it again. So we should be at 25 now that I'm using blink level 5. And we're going to check this by zooming all the way out, casting it, and then zooming all the way in and casting it again to double check. Cat's freaking out in the background again. My wife was kind of hiding off camera, so I moved my camera a little bit there. BB-chan, what are you doing? You can go up there if you want. We can't scratch on it though. Jumped up in the kamidana. So let's zoom all the way out, and player camera distance is 5, and I hit the wall. Let's zoom all the way in. Player camera distance is practically 0, and we got up on the roof. So I think this is working fine. We should be able to just do like this too. Oh, yeah, I overshot. Pee-pee. Not okay. I'll come and get you if you keep doing that. Scratching on the wood. Anything else we need to test with this? Teleporting through cows works. Let's go look at a cave just to be sure. Do I have any caves? I think I have a cave somewhere. Lava cave. Hope I have my undies on. Why is the ground not flattened around this cave? You kidding me? What's going on here? This part's flattened? Is it not enough? Since when has that been going on? I thought we fixed that like 900 times. Prefabs. World encounters. Caves. No, procedural prefabs, world encounters. Cave. Size 60. Should be carving out a big chunk around the cave. Why is it not doing that? That's going to be under the noise manager, which is procedural spawning. Get chunk biomap, get terrain biomap, areas to flatten, which is an int 3. The distance is z divided by 4, since we do 4 meters per terrain tick. So it should be 60 divided by 4. This is getting passed in from the terrain itself, I believe. And the areas to flatten list is being populated using the world encounter, using the size, which is get large encounter size of the type. I'm going to debug this real quick. I don't understand why that's not using 60 properly. Let's say encounter spawning, and this is going to be weh.encounter type, and this is going to be with size That's going to be fed into our areas to flatten list, which is then going to be referenced when we pass it to the noise manager, because we're using that procedural terrain script itself, like this, which ends up here, and it should Is it like a full moon or something? My cats are being all weird today. Debug.log distance. And this is going to get spammed a bit in the console, but I just want to double check. Make sure that we see that that is firing properly. And center x minus the distance. One thing we should have looked at, and I will look at, let's get this compiling, is the position of the cave. It should be moved off of the edges of the terrain so that it can properly flatten a single terrain, rather than having to worry about going across multiple terrains. I'll get that loading. Basically, it starts at a center point, it goes backwards, and then it loops forward. So we've got minus, and then we've got plus, and it flattens all of that area around it to make sure that, that's what it's supposed to be doing, but it was not flattening that cave out properly for some reason. It should be 60 meters, but it looked like it was only flattening like 5 meters. So let's pause before a bunch of other stuff loads. We've got a number of them spawning. Tower, lava cave. Yeah, that was what it was. Lava cave with a size 20. Well, there you go. Why is the lava cave 20 when the cave is 60? Did we make separate procedural prefabs for lava caves and water caves? And if so, why aren't they right here? And they're not in here either. Let's look at the procedural manager that stores all of that. Large encounters doesn't have one. I guess it's because it's not finding one. So it's defaulting back to 20. That's probably what's happening, isn't it? Procedural terrain wants to get large encounter size. If it doesn't find one, it's just going to go back 20. So let's say it didn't find one. This is kind of sloppy, but if encounter is equal to countertypes dot lava cave, or encounter is equal to encounter types dot water cave. Those are the only ones we're missing, right? Because they're just set up to use the cave guy. So return 60. Okay. Why would I not want to just make one of these? Cave entrance. Lava cave, water cave. Let's peek at the manager again. He's got The large encounters listed there, but then he's also got the cave listed here. And I believe that that is just what's getting directly referenced. Can you open that for me since I double clicked on it? Oh, I already had it open. There you go. Who is making use of you? Yes. Oh, that's just marker type. Wait, no, yeah, that's right. Convert marker to prefab. Yeah, well. There's no real benefit to that for now. Let's let that reload. And let's actually turn these off because that should fix that. Save noise manager. We'll turn you off as well. Where did you go? There you are. Good and fine. Recompile once more. Load her up. Dig into the muscle knot in my back. But like, it's actually a product of a pinched nerve in my neck. So like what's most important is that I like sit up straight. I bought a $100 pillow like 2 years ago. I used it like once. Thing's giant. No, can't sit in front of the keyboard, kitty. Sorry. You want to see everybody though? You're gonna get mad if I pick you up, aren't you? You're gonna get mad. But look at this, it's Yume. Oh. Yume. Yume means dream in Japanese. I named her that because when she was a kitty, she did the thing where her eyes would freak out while she slept. Okay, so I fixed the lava cave and the water caves. That's why this guy was floating last time I came here. Anyway, I should not be able to blink through this. Good. I kind of wanted to test like ceiling, right? That works. Can't get through the ground, right? Okay, and then let's go inside. And I don't have magic undies on, but I also am not teleporting through the walls. So I just wanted to make sure that that wasn't going to happen. There might be some funky little corner that you could get yourself into, but I don't think so. I can't get under the water, but that's definitely going to kill me. Yeah, I died, but we'll stop before it saves. Alright, so Blink should be working good. That's a fun one. Get rid of that debug. We just need to set up. Let's see, it's not a passive, it is a attack. So when we go to get our descriptions here, energy cost, let's do, we got cooldown, let's do details dot add what did we set it at? 15 plus 2 times level. That will give us a description as to how far it's going to let us teleport. And we need to add this stuff to the passives. No, they don't have cooldowns. Never mind. Anyway. finalize that blink ability by returning this to 30 and 10, and we should be good. All right. Moving on. I think I've got the rest of this working. Storm, defense, clarity, mana resist, etheric tearing. Do I not have that working? He is... Crits return a small amount of mana. Okay. So... Magic critical hits return a small amount of mana. Do I have... no, I do not have an icon for that one yet. But let's see, how much do we want? I got too many tabs open. Let's close some of these down. Okay. We're looking at the Scholar ability, Etheric Tearing. Oh, there's another one of those random messages on YouTube. I wonder if those are just bots trying to get action points that, like, they've commented somewhere before. I don't understand the purpose for that. You know how, like, on Reddit, you're not allowed to post in a community until you've earned enough reputation, I guess is what it is. But YouTube doesn't have anything like that, does it? I don't understand the point of those chat messages. That's a YouTube user. And they always have vum in them. Whatever. Have a ball. Etheric tearing. So let's say you have successfully magically crit with a fireball or whatever. How much mana are you getting back? We had spell absorption earlier being just... Oh, no, that was here. That's also on the Scholar. He's getting 0.5 per spell hit. That's pretty strong. Might still want to even turn that down even more, but again, we'll play test it. Magic crit is going to be quite a bit less common, right? So I think we can turn this one up more. So you get a crit and you get 5 mana back. Is that rewarding? Or should it be more than that? 7.5? I think 5's pretty good. Let's just do level. Mana refunded. And then we'll go back to player combat. Player magic critical. And we'll do int etheric tearing level equals client dot player skills get current skill level etheric tearing. Can't spell any of this stuff wrong the way I'm doing it, unfortunately. Oh, people, you're just so bored today. What's the matter? What's the matter? Just nothing to do. Except claw my thighs. And step on the keyboard. Why don't you just sit on my lap? Can you sit? Oh, there's a good kitty. You gonna sit there? It's a happy kitty. You guys would rather see the cat than me, I know. I got another cat right here. How about a percent of mana as your mana goes up with levels? Yeah, percent would not be terrible. By default, your mana ranges from 100, and that shifts. So more mana would give you more mana back. That would be quite a bit better, assuming you're a mage and you've got like 150 mana. You'd be getting even more mana. I'm kind of already worried though that it's going to be giving back quite a bit of mana. Like this way it's going to give you back 5 mana for a crit. And currently a lot of spells are at like 10 mana cost, but they'll probably be reduced to more like 7.5-ish, because people have been saying that skills are a bit costly. That's certainly possible, though. Alter stats. I'll keep that in mind. Mana. Etheric tiering level. Like if it was 10 and you cast a 10 fireball and then it crit, it'd basically be like a 0 cost fireball, right? I think that might be a little... it's not so bad. Can I move my mouse pad a little more? Sorry, oh, and you hit your head because I made you stand up. So sad. I'll add a little note here. Say, should scale off max mana. Maybe we'll revisit that. But that should be working for now. You got a magic crit. And that's gone up, and it's showing the player how much to. Oh, you got bored. I lost my lap, buddy. Magic damage, these are just passive stats. Okay, Arcane Explosion. This is a big one. This is the fancy skill for Scholar. Every job gets a fancy skill at the end of their tree. Arcane Explosion is going to be an attack skill template. It's not really a projectile. I think this works. I can just do AoE max targets, let's say 10. Max range is 5. Max angle is 360 degrees. Or is 180? Is 180 is full, isn't it? Because if it's 180 degrees to the left, or 180 degrees to the right, that's complete, isn't it? I said 120 somewhere earlier, didn't I? What did I put that on? I was messing with something earlier. Flame glyph, clarity, chromatic. Oh, it was chromatic blast, wasn't it? 120. That's probably too much, isn't it? 90 would be 180 degrees, basically, right? That's probably too much, even in of itself. I had it at 180. No, not this guy. This guy. 120. Half of that would be 60. So it's 60 in either direction, right? Okay. That makes more sense. Where were we? Arcane Explosion. That's what we want this guy to be. I'll add a 1 and Arcane Explosion. Emits a powerful blast of energy in all directions. Adventuring Scholar ability. Do I have an... I do. Arcane Explosion. This is 905. It's got a big cooldown. Let's mimic the rest of them. I start at 600, right? And I go down to 540, 480, 420, and 360. No energy. Yeah. Mana cost. Again, these are panic skills, usually. So I don't want them to have tons of mana cost, but let's do... Yeah, let's just set them all at 10, and we'll have the damage go up. Damage type is going to be magic. Can critical. I'm not going to use any of that. Maximum 10 targets, and then we'll give it a fancy effect later on. Big blow up burst. For now, we just want it to do magic damage to the tune of a lot. So a normal spell, well, and it is AoE, so you could pull like 10 goblins and then blast them all down in one hit, maybe. Your typical monster is going to have 500 hit points, and your typical attack is going to be 100. If I add 100 to that, it's basically like 2 full attacks against up to 10 targets within range of you, which is pretty strong, but it's got a minimum 5-minute cooldown. So it's not something you can use all the time, and it's really not very good for single target, fighting. Certainly an option, but I think we can give it pretty big damage. Let's go ahead and do something like this, maybe. 110, 120. Maybe we should scale that a little more. Let's do 80, 60, 120, 140. Should we go all the way up to 150? 50, 75, 125, and 150. Can you see what I'm typing there? Not really. I think that should be decent. Can critical. Yeah, that should work fine. Don't think I need to test that explicitly right here and now. Get rid of the dummy, and all should be well. Don't need any additional logic for that guy. And then rapid blink. Okay, so we didn't put this one in yet. Currently we've got blink on a cooldown of minimum 30. Rapid blink is going to reduce this by up to... get it all the way down to 15. And it still costs mana, so you can't just spam, 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 spam unless you've got really good mana regen. I think that's fair. So rapid blink is going to reduces the cooldown of blink. And it is an upgrade, so we can go ahead and just use that. And rapid blink. Let's do minus 5 seconds per level, right? 5 times level. Minus 5 seconds cooldown. So you get this all the way up to 5, and you're getting minus 25. Oh, that's too much. I guess it's 3. So if you get it up to level 5, it's minus 15. And then we need to change our blink skill to understand that. This is actually not here. What is blink? Blink is a attack, which is a little weird, but that works too. So if we go to calculate our cooldown, spend costs, update cooldown, get cooldown, which is actually in the parent class of usable. It's gonna do this, but let's say if skill name is equal to blink, we're gonna check to see if we've got rapid blink levels. Client, do we not have client here? Shoot. Get cooldown. Alright. I'm gonna have to pass client to this guy. No, not necessarily. Let us go back to where we were, here. And we can float. Can I use cooldown? Is that already being used somewhere? No. Cooldown equals get cooldown for the level, like this, and then we'll pass that into here, and we will interrupt that with if skill name is equal to, like we were just doing, if it's blink, our rapid blink level will be client player's skills, get current skill level for rapid blink, and if rapid blink level is greater than 0, our cooldown is now going to minus equal rapid blink level times 3. And there we go. That's all we need for that. Get rid of you and you. And that is it for Scholar. Now we've only got Spiritualist and Priest left. Let's see what we are missing. Who's got a work in progress mark on them? Occupants, healing, lightning, fortified ward, rejuvenate, resist, mana regen, staff mastery. Staff can block. Cool. Cool. How do we program this? Tabi-chan, be nice. Spiritualist ability. Is it before or after Stinging Force? It is after. Staff Mastery. It's like Gandalf blocking with his staff, right? I guess it still uses your block stat, which is heavily influenced by intelligence. So that's why it's actually a pretty cool ability for a caster. But what do the levels apply? So at level, basically, player combat is going to attempt to block only if you've got a shield equipped. In which case it's just going to use your block stat. We could have the levels of the skill apply a bonus to the block stat, or we could have the lower levels of it apply a penalty so that max level would use the full block stat. Oh, 5 minutes to lunch. I gotta tell you guys too. I've been chosen as the neighborhood leader for the next year. We don't have like a homeowners association thing, but, and this is something Japan's done for hundreds of years, so like I get it and I'm gonna do it, but basically like I have to pass out pamphlets like once a season, and like I have to lead weed cutting measures like 3 times a year, and I have to go to these meetings like 3 times a year, and it's not a big deal. But I don't want to do it. It's stupid. I actually don't participate. Like, if you're not the leader, and you don't go to the weed cutting events, you have to pay $10. It's like punishment. And so I pay $10 like 3 times a year. And everything's actually been really toned down because of COVID. So like it used to be like 6 times a year and like all this other stuff. So I mean, it's not a big deal, but I just got the like message yesterday that it's like, it's your turn, and it's like, I could, make a big deal about it and be like, I don't want to do it, but you kind of, it's kind of not a nice thing to do, so I'm going to do it. And it's like, oh, I'm not looking forward to it though. Make me get up at like 7 on Sunday morning, here and there. Not excited, but what are you going to do? Like we could do, yeah, it's like you don't want to do it, but if I don't do it, somebody else is just gonna have to do it, so I'll do it. But I think we should just apply penalties to this until it gets to level 5. So let's do minus level times 2 block level. Wait, that in reverse, huh? So it's level, 5 minus level. 5 minus level times 2. So if it's at level 5, you're going to do Does that make sense? If it's at level 5, you're going to do at -0 block level. Someone's going to message me that they don't understand what that means, but basically we want to look for int staff mastery level equals client dot player skills get current skills staff mastery. Now if we've got a shield, we're gonna have to put this in brackets. If we've got a shield or our main hand is not null and our main hand is a two-handed magic weapon, right? So we've got a magic staff, and this actually also needs staff mastery level. If staff mastery level is greater than 0 and we've got a staff, oh, there's my lunch alarm. Am I missing a bracket somewhere? One too many here. Or, yeah, I don't want that. There we go. So we've got a shield, or we've got staff mastery and a staff. Then we can go ahead and try to block, but we're going to be doing that at reduced block level if we don't have maximum staff mastery. So let's go ahead and close this. And add a second line of if basically I want to get this onto its own line now. Right? So float block level equals get it, but then are we doing the staff mastery or not? I thought I already added in didn't I plug this in earlier in the stream? Combat math dot block multiplier. I thought I already did that. Where did I add that in? Didn't I do that like just 2 hours ago? I explained that and then I did this and I showed it. What happened to that? Where did that go? Player combat. I'm at 351. What are we looking at? Oh, this is ranged player attack. Okay. Yeah, I forgot that I separated those out. Well, did I miss something then? What did I plug into normal? I plugged in flame shield. Okay, but that's not going to work on ranged, so okay. Okay, I kind of almost thought I skipped something there. So anyway. I think I might need to separate these out. Yeah, I think that's going to work better. So you can do that. Otherwise, else if, yeah, probably not else. Well, yeah, else if works. Else if And in this case, we're going to do it this way. Otherwise, yeah, in reversal, does reversal work with a staff? I don't think so. If you're a guardian with reversal and you're using a staff, that's just silly. Let's not do that. If you've got a shield, I messed this up. Let's go backwards. Yeah, okay. Mastery. So this is the shield thing, right? Okay. Now, else if you, in your main hand, have an item and it is a two-handed magical weapon, and staff mastery level is greater than 0, then you can first figure out your block level equals client.playerstats.get stat block, and then we're going to subtract from that, so I guess we can just do that right here, minus staff mastery level. Let's do 5 minus staff mastery level times 2. And I know that order of operations dictates that I don't need these parentheses, but I just like to do that to make it more obvious to myself. And that was correct, right? 5 minus level times 2. And then we will attempt that. Like this. If we successfully block using those stats, correct. Then once again, block will equal true, and holder damage will times equal combat math block multiplier. So we might be changing this in the future. I wanted to make sure all references of that are using something, a single point that we can go back and change if we later decide to. Now I just need to let's actually put this in the front here, just because that's a quicker check than looking at those arrays. This is the ranged block, so let's also move this up to our normal block here. Right? And we need our int staff mastery level equals client dot player skills dot get current skills staff mastery. And I forgot the Y here again once more. That's funny. So we're going to attempt to block if we've got a shield. Otherwise, if we've got staff mastery and we're wearing a staff, we will attempt to block, possibly at reduced stats depending on our level of stat mastery. Parry handles riposte logic. we do want to add player block. This is shield spikes. So yeah, we don't want that with this guy. We don't want that with staff. Let's leave a note here though in case we get into something like that later. Currently not being called when using staff mastery. In all other cases, this should be called only by a non-ranged attack, right? We're not calling it here. Good. And we didn't add in the resist logic here yet. So we need to do that. Miss bool resist equals false. Let's double check how we change things up here. Right. Only physical attacks can be missed. Right? If it's one of these, and we wanted to stop doing this logic as well. Instead, opting to if not miss and not resist. I'm now writing this stuff in two places, and that's kind of a no-no in programming. Why is ranged attack different than normal attack, you ask? Primarily because of things like shield spikes, etc. Sometimes consolidating things into one method just for the sake of doing so is not actually beneficial, though. You know, even though it's kind of the thing to do, it's not always something that you have to 100% drop everything and make sure that you are always doing. Ranged attack. We haven't missed this. Whoops, that's not what we wanted. We're going to put more logic in there, but here we're going to do if it is one of these, and we have not already missed, and it's magic, and in that case, we will do a resist roll, like this, using our resist stat. If we are able to resist it, it becomes resisted. And if we haven't missed and we haven't resisted, dodge can actually work with both of them, so that's fine. And again, we're not going to do else. We're going to say block and parry only work with physical attacks, so we'll start out with this. If we didn't miss, or they didn't miss, we didn't resist, and we didn't dodge, so the attack is still active, and it is physical, then we can move into the block and parry logic. And here we don't have riposte logic, is really all that is different for the most part, but that is important. So, you know, we could consolidate all of this into one method and instead have something like bool ranged attack equals false, and if somebody passes in that this is a ranged attack, we cancel out the riposte logic. Let's go ahead and do that. even though I'm hungry and have to go to the bathroom. So by default, a melee attack, we've got the holder, we've got the attacker, and by default it is not a ranged attack. But if it is a ranged attack, then we... Take it easy, Jeff. Thanks for stopping by. I'm going to head out too here in 5 minutes. This is all good and fine. Again, we don't want to do if not ranged attack for this guy, because this is shield spikes. Let's just go ahead and leave a note there. Again, we already denoted that. Oh, reversal actually works too, but that is, what is this, block, reversal, and that's going to attack. Yeah, so we don't want to do that with ranged attacks, right? Shield spike / reversal. Good. And then riposte as well. So, riposte logic. If not ranged attack, first of all. So if it's a ranged attack, you can't riposte. Likewise, do we have anything else? Wards, damage shields, force shield, flame shield. If not ranged attack, right? These don't work on ranged attacks. Flame shield levels. Wards work fine. And then that gets into the rest of this. So now I'm actually gonna get rid of this guy completely. Is there anything in here specifically that I need to move up there? I kind of want to leave this note up there, to be honest, to see if we are actually able to block. Make a dot check to see if the player is facing the attack for block, parry, checks. Probably for dodge as well, too. I guess you could have... That might be a cool skill, actually. Uncanny dodge. Like, even if you're not facing the direction, you're still capable of dodging it. You could do uncanny block. Uncanny parry kind of wouldn't make sense, maybe, but... Uncanny block, I could see, too. Like, you're just so in tune with the combat. He's like, blocks an arrow from behind him. That's cool. Anything else I need to bring up there? Staff mastery, parry, no damage. Yeah, I don't think there's anything ranged specific down here. So I'm going to get rid of this completely. But in doing this, something is going to get upset. Enemy projectile. So we're going to do attack player. We're going to do attack holder. We don't have a, we're going to say null to this guy, and we're going to say true to this is a ranged attack. What's the matter with that? Cannot convert bool to, what? Oh, what is this? Too many commas. True, and once again here we're going to say null and true. I really don't like that this is null, to be honest, and this is melee attack now, which I'm going to rename again back to just attack. It would be better if we had the mob's name so you could say what hit you, right? So when we go to set up our attack holder, should we just pass the name? Is that all we need? Explosion range, List of effects, attack holder. Yeah, let's pass a string. Let's call mob name. And let's see who all is now calling this guy. Whoops. Yume? Yume-chan? No chewing on plastic bags. What are you doing? Stop it. Yume-chan, come here. Come here, what are you doing? Quit chewing on that stuff. Biting on the vinyl bags. It's only called from one spot, which is the enemy ability template, and we do have the monster AI here, so let's go ahead and do entity dot mob name. This isn't actually the full mob name. Do I not have access to that? Mob name. I want to go double check this. This is not necessarily the full mob name. Is it? Whoops. It's being referenced where? Full mob name equals mob name plus this stuff. I'm not sure why I have different. Oh yeah, it's in the attack holder. I'm stupid. We don't need that. It's in the attack holder. So cancel that. Cancel that. You're fine. Entity projectile. We don't need that. We want to. We're passing the attack holder already. What am I missing here? Trying to get player combat to properly report who it's being hit by when I melee attack the player from the enemy projectile script. We're passing the attack holder and null. So we don't actually have reference to the monster AI is what I'm worried about here. Attacker is null in the event of a ranged attack. Is that going to give me a problem anywhere here? If it's not a ranged attack, player block attacker. What's the matter with you? Oh, I didn't finish deleting this. That will cause a lot of problems. But I think I'm alright. Player block attacker. So if it is a ranged attack, we're not going to get here, and that's good because the attacker is null. Again, if it's not a ranged attack, we need to know the attacker, so that's good. Where else? This is also within that, so that's fine. Damage shields, once again, needs to be a ranged, non-ranged attack for this to trigger, so that's fine. And I think we're good. Okay. Holder.mob name, etc. Yeah, I forget what we were doing, but that should get everything working fine. Was it just staff mastery? Oh yeah, I moved everything to back into a single thing here with just the bool instead, so that's a lot better. And let's not call this melee anymore. This is indeed attack player. Let's make sure we don't have any compile errors. And assuming we do not, looks like we're fine. I'm going to go to lunch. That is staff mastery. We don't have armored magic in either yet, I don't think. So I'm going to get spiritualists can wear leather armor because these guys grow into druids, so they're going to be leather casters. And a number of seance we'll get to as well. What are we missing for priest? I think I've got pretty much all of this stuff working fine, except maybe lay on hands and I think that's about it. So we want Armored Magic, Seance, Lay on Hands, and then we can get into Familiar and Stealth. And Stealth, yeah, Stealth's going to be a bit of work. Not a ton of work, though. Basically just when a mob goes to detect a player, you know, it's checking to see how close it is already. So we'll just reduce that number if the player's in stealth. So like if they can see you 20 meters away when you're not stealthed, that'll go down to 7.5 meters or something like that, you know. And we'll reduce your speed. And I'm not sure if we can get like a transparent shader going or what. Maybe make you crouch. We don't have a crouch, but that could be cool. Show that you're in stealth. Anyway, we'll get into that. And Familiar is going to be a dude that follows you around. And this is just going to be the first one. Magician evolves into Summoner, right? Which is going to have, you know, Fire Snake, you know, whatever. I haven't decided on him yet. But Earth Golem, Fire Drake, you know, little more evolved familiars of different types that have different uses. Tank, range, DPS, etc. So I'm not sure if the familiar himself is going to be an attacker or not. He might just be, maybe he's support. Healer would be not terrible. Usually they kind of like increase your stats a bit, which is what Etheric Binding is supposed to do. Adds intelligence and agility. So he needs to have some kind of purpose. I suppose he's going to be an attacker, isn't he? Probably be a little imp. Throwing fireballs or something of that nature. But basically he's just going to follow you around. I'm not sure if we're going to just have him fly around you or if he's actually going to follow the ground or what. That's a bit of programming. Quite a bit more than stealth, but maybe not. Depends on how we decide to go about it. You know, if it was just like a druid crow kind of thing that like follows you, or like a wisp. If it was just a wisp, it just has to float by you and then it zaps stuff. And that's actually not a bad. Maybe we could call this wisp instead of familiar. And it's just like an orb that, you know, kind of mutates around you, and when you're in combat with something, it zaps them. And then if you upgrade Etheric Binding, you get increased intelligence and agility when that guy is around you. I'm going to add Wisp here to that. But no compiler errors. Staff Mastery should be working fine. Probably broke something we didn't notice, but we'll figure it out once we patch. I should probably put out a patch today. I'll see if I can get the last of these skills squared away. Probably not stealth and familiar, but we'll see what happens. I know it's not the most exciting content in the world, but thanks for stopping by, those that do, and say hi. And sorry I wasn't streaming yesterday. Still kind of neck hurts. Can't look to the left, but I'm working on it. It's better than yesterday, so I don't think I need to go to the real full doctors yet. Anyway, we'll see if I can get rid of it myself.